Hey guys, what's going on? Quick Freeze 4 back again with another video, and today I'm going to show you a little store that I discovered in Salem, New Hampshire called Core Gaming. Now, I've been to this store about 2 times already, and I gotta say it's probably one of my favorite retro stores to go to for classic systems such as the NES or the Super Nintendo or even the Sega Genesis. So I figured I'd do kind of like a small tour and show you guys what they have to offer. So let's go ahead and take a look. So as soon as you walk into the store, you'll realize the store is filled wall to wall with games, and they have the available systems to go with it. They have both modern and retro, and that's where the store really shines. It's in its retro games. And of course, being the NES being my favorite video game system of all time, I immediately went over to that section and started browsing what they had. And one of the games I found was the Flintstones Rescue of Dino and Happy. It's a good game. But yeah, as you can see here, they have a great selection of NES titles, and I absolutely love the NES. I could just look through these things all day. And of course, they have a great collection of Super Nintendo games. And I gotta say, the Super Nintendo is probably the better of the 16-bit systems. You know, I like the Sega Genesis, but I think the Super Nintendo is a little bit better. And of course, we have the Sega Genesis right next to it. You know, again, a very good system, but I still think the Super Nintendo is a little bit better in my opinion. And one of my favorite games on the Genesis is Sketchin'. Oh my god, this is such a great game. But yeah, as you guys can see, they have a great collection of Sega Genesis games as well as Super Nintendo. Next, I moved on to the PlayStation 1 because I'm actually trying to build up a pretty good PlayStation 1 collection. I got a good one so far, but I'm always looking to expand upon that. And as you guys can see here, there's a great selection of PlayStation 1 games. And of course, we can't forget about the Nintendo 64, another great collection of core gaming. And another great system to collect for is the Dreamcast. And here they got a pretty good collection, including Hydro Thunder. Great game. But yeah, they have a pretty good collection of Sega Dreamcast games. A lot of common titles, but you know, still a good selection of games. And then we got Sega Saturn. Not a very good selection, mostly sports titles, but that's okay. It's nice to see that the Sega Saturn is being sold in retro stores. And then of course we got the PSP, great selection of the PSP, huge collection. And of course they have the Nintendo GameCube, another great huge collection. But probably their biggest selection of games is for the PlayStation 2. They had nearly 2 shelves just filled with PlayStation 2 games. And the Xbox is another great system that I want to collect for. Evil Dead, I remember playing that on the PlayStation 2. It's a great game. But just look at all these Xbox games. You know, just going through these, you know, good start to start your collection. Crazy Taxi 3, I didn't even know there was a Crazy Taxi 3 on the Xbox. Then you got this one, you got Capcom vs SNK 2, Man, just a great selection of Xbox games, especially if you just want to build up the collection. And of course you got the Game Boy games, and these ones were actually reasonably priced quite well, usually around the $5 range. And then we got the Sega Game Gear. I'm really happy that they had Sega Game Gear games, because usually you don't find these a lot. But mostly they had GBA games in their handheld collection, and they had a lot of GBA games, and a good selection of them to pick from. And of course they have the modern systems, such as the Xbox 360, as well as the PlayStation 3, and it's not really surprising that they would have these games, because, you know, they want to keep up with the modern systems to appeal to everybody. But, you know, moving on, we got the Nintendo Wii, good selection of Wii games. And for the Nintendo DS, another great collection of games. So they do have a lot of modern games as well as retro ones. And I was really surprised to see a wide variety of strategy guides here. And these were actually modern strategy guides, retro strategy guides, for like games such as, you know, Spider-Man for the Nintendo 64 for like $5. Like, these are actually really good strategy guides if you're looking for old retro ones. Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 2. Like, come on, where can you find strategy guides in moderate good condition? And of course, for their more rare or sought after games, they're kept in a glass display case. And me personally, this is probably my favorite part of the store, is just looking at all of these great games inside this case, because it's a good selection and they were reasonably priced. I was quite surprised. You know, they had Super Nintendo games, they had Nintendo 64 games, they had PlayStation 1 games, regular NES games, Sega Dreamcast games, Sega CD games, you know, games you wouldn't normally see on, you know, a regular store shelf, you know. Like I said, these are the more rare or sought after games. So that's about it, you guys. That is Core Gaming in Salem, New Hampshire. And I encourage you guys, if you guys are in the area, please check out this store, because like I said at the beginning of the video, it's one of my favorite retro stores to go into. It has a great selection. You know, the owner is very nice, and I like to thank him personally for letting me film inside of his store. Thank you very much. And like I said, you guys, check out Core Gaming in Salem, New Hampshire. It's a great store.